And there is Tyson, the Gypsy King Fury, bargaining with his negotiations. And let me counterpunch. Trilogy, Wembley, 100,000 plus. I mean, it sounds like a good idea. The only problem is why? Why and what? Why would Oleksandr Usyk fight Tyson Fury again? Well, when he beat him twice. And what did Tyson Fury do to get the opportunity that most fighters are earning? I.e. Efe Ajagba, i.e. Joseph Parker, i.e. I get Caballero. Those fighters deserve their shot over Fury. We just got to keep it real. Now, if the fight happens, would we watch it? Would it be entertaining? I mean, it will be entertaining as long as it lasts. I mean, Tyson Fury, we never really know how well he does in training. You know what I mean? Like, Tyson, I think, was in better shape for the first fight, but then the first fight, he couldn't do X, Y, Z because of the cut. If you guys remember the cut that he received by his sparring partner, and then he had to stop, and then it had to, had to postpone and all that stuff. He couldn't postpone it anymore. So he had to go without sparring. So he couldn't spar. That means he couldn't train properly for the fight. Well, the second fight, he did all of that and still lost the decision. And you're looking at this situation where the Trilogy, Usyk now wants to consider this opportunity. So this is coming along the lines of, hey, I wouldn't mind doing the Trilogy, says Usyk. And then Tyson saying, hey, well, guess what? That's strange that you say that, Oleksandr, because I won't come back unless it's for a Trilogy with you. This also tells me this. It also tells me that Tyson Fury by default believes that Oleksandr Usyk will beat Daniel Dubois. Because he wouldn't be setting up a fight with Oleksandr Usyk, a Trilogy fight, talking about that now before the unification even takes place, without believing that Oleksandr Usyk's going to be the victor. Therefore, he's going to fight Usyk because Usyk will be the victor. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of these things are coming into play, and you're seeing them how they unfold, and I think Tyson Fury really wants Usyk to win, because if he can get another fight with him, win, lose, or draw, it'll be bigger, because for one, he doesn't have to be fighting a guy that's not really marketable or charismatic like Usyk, or doesn't follow that story or that history like Usyk, because Usyk has beat him, and his only objective, sure, to get paid, but to avenge the loss. Where if it's Daniel Dubois, he's the new kid on the block, really the next generation of fighters that may not be ready for these guys that are fighting right now that are about to leave the sport. You know what I mean? He doesn't have the charisma. He doesn't have the history. He doesn't have really the desire to really beat Daniel. If Daniel beats Oleksandr Usyk, that could open up a whole new can of worms. Because Daniel has said he would fight Tyson. But if Tyson's saying, I will only be coming back to the sport for a Trilogy with Usyk, that means he has no desire to fight Daniel Dubois whatsoever. So Daniel Dubois, even though he would want to fight these guys because he's young, strong, you know what I mean, and hungry or whatever, right? And he may want to fight Tyson Fury because he knows the money's going to be there, and he's like that old king and all that stuff. But that doesn't mean Tyson Fury will get up for that fight. So don't get your hopes up if Daniel beats Oleksandr Usyk, okay? But we know that Tyson Fury will come back for a Trilogy fight, meaning Usyk beats Daniel Dubois the second time. So, I think that Tyson is just waiting. I think that Joshua is just waiting. I think a lot of people are just waiting to see what really happens with Usyk and Dubois. So, to say the least, the anticipation for other possible fights or other possible return of people's return to the sport is dictated on who wins this next fight. So, that brings some form of interest to that fight itself, on top of just seeing if Daniel got better as a fighter. And we will all see that all at the same time. You guys tell me what you think about Tyson Fury. Only willing to come back to the sport for a trilogy for Usyk in Wembley, 100,000 people plus. Of course, please subscribe, like, share, and you guys been counterpunching.
Peace.